Luckin, a deal, an IPO where people lost millions in this country, would a Luckin be, I don't want to say anything would be found. Fraud is very difficult to detect. But would a Luckin have been, say, exposed and there would have been more risk factors had they allowed the U.S. in to look at the auditing?
It's hard to tell in any one company, but our system is that companies present their disclosure to you, the American investor, and they present it, but they have financials looked at by auditors, and the auditors attest to certain things through auditing standards. It might sound a little boring, but it's really important because you have to trust the numbers. But then we have a second group, somebody looking at the auditors, and those people looking at the auditors are overseen by the SEC, and that's called the Public Company Accounting Oversight Board. So in your example, Luckin Coffee was an investigation that we brought, and the PCOB helped us on that several years ago, about a Chinese-related company, and the numbers, as you said, weren't kept up to snuff. But this is a more general thing. Can you trust the numbers, and is there a level playing field? Why would 200 Chinese companies be able to issue here in the U.S. and not comply with their laws? It's a great privilege to be in the U.S. We have the deepest, most liquid capital markets, and if you want to issue here in the U.S. and tap into the investors in the U.S., comply with their laws, and I think Congress spoke with a clear voice, and we're effectuating the will of Congress. We've got the great support of a unanimous bipartisan support of Congress. But again, the proof will be in the pudding. We'll have to see over the next few months how compliance goes.
Yeah, Chairman Gensler, it's David. You've said twice the proof's in the pudding. You're going to have on-the-ground inspectors in Hong Kong, or inspectors on the ground in Hong Kong as soon as mid-September. Are you going to get a sense even then as to whether the Chinese are going to follow through on the promises they've made?
Well, it's a great question. Sending those inspectors in, a normal inspection period can take up to 3 months, but we'll start to know in October and November. And let me remind the public, Congress said that there has to be an annual determination whether there's compliance. And the first year, last December, it was a no. There was a negative determination for Hong Kong and China. This annual determination needs to be made by this December, and that's why it was so important to get people on the ground by mid-September, really looking at those work papers, and in addition, doing interviews with the people that actually did the audits, and thirdly, that the PCOB can select whichever firms they want to look at, whichever engagements, based on risk management. The PCOB can select any company and take a look. But yes, David, right. We'll probably know certainly by early December, because we have to. The PCOB has to make their next annual determination, and if it's thumbs down again, a negative determination, it may well be that these companies would have to delist. If it's a thumbs up, that would be real progress. And I think, look, our U.S. capital market has been the destination of choice, the competitive destination of choice for decades for large companies around the globe. So if there's compliance, this would keep some of those companies in our markets, but it's really important to have the compliance so investors can trust the numbers and we have a level playing field.
Yeah, well, you've mentioned those roughly 200 companies. You know, obviously market caps vary, but as much as $1 trillion to $2 trillion. Nonetheless, they're still under separate pressures from the Chinese government to perhaps come back home or delist. You know, what's your sense, if this is successful, in terms of this tide that some U.S. investors have seen of an unwillingness of Chinese companies to list here, and even those who are listed here to still choose to have another listing in Hong Kong or make it their sole listing?
Look, I still think we've got the deepest, most liquid capital markets. They're not perfect. We're looking at other reforms to enhance our capital markets, enhance our stock markets. But I think that we're the competitive destination of choice for companies from Europe, Asia, from Africa, from South America, from Australia, around the globe. And I want to continue to focus on that and ensure that we're the gold standard. If the Chinese authorities allow for compliance, then that will continue, and company by company can make a choice. If there's not compliance, then of course, then we'll protect the investing public, and these companies will have to leave.